Welcome to Brush Banter, the podcast where creativity meets real-life hustle.
Brought to you by Zibra, we go beyond perfect brushstrokes to explore the messy, magical, and meaningful side of being an artist.
I'm Brie Hansen, crafter at heart, creative cheerleader, and president of Zibra.
I'm Annie Bolding, muralist, designer, lover of all things that sparkle, and founder of It's a Disco Day Designs.
And I'm Lauren Cooper, muralist, designer, creative mama, and founder of Rosemont Lane Design Studio.
We're here to bring you conversations with working artists,
practical tips to grow your creative business,
and a built-in painting companion for your next project.
So grab your favorite Zebra brush,
pop in your headphones,
and let the banter begin.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of our newly rebranded Zebra podcast, Brush and Banter. I'm Brie, president of Zebra, and I couldn't be more excited to kick off this new chapter in season 6 with you. Before we dive in, we want to take a moment to express our gratitude. If you've been with us for a while, you know this podcast began with Lane, someone who built something truly special. His voice, his heart really brought together a vibrant community of creatives and furniture refinishers, and we are incredibly grateful for the foundation he laid. And of course, for you, our loyal listeners who have joined us through 5 amazing seasons of Before and After podcast. Zebra has always been about celebrating creativity, but with Brush and Banter, we're expanding the canvas. This podcast is for muralists, residential painters, DIYers, furniture artists, and creatives of all kinds. Anyone who picks up a brush and brings a vision to life, this is for you. This rebrand is more than just a new name, but it's an invitation. So whether you're painting in the studio, a garage, a client's home, or on a city wall, you belong here. So what can you expect moving forward? You'll hear inspiring conversations with artists, real talk about the creative process, practical business tips, and of course, plenty of laughs along the way. I'll be your host this season, joined by 2 amazing guest co-hosts. We'll be rotating episodes, sharing hosting duties, and welcoming some incredible interviewees. We're so glad you're here. Let's jump in. So, drum roll. I am so excited to introduce to you my amazing co-hosts for season 6, Lauren and Annie, better known as Rosemont Lane and It's a Disco Day. Welcome to our very first episode of season 6, guys.
Yeah! I don't want to scream because
but we're that excited. With the silent scream.
Yes.
So happy to be here. What a dream come true.
Yes, we're so excited for all the chats.
All the chats. Okay. Well, let's talk about Lauren and Annie. So the first time I met them was at Rooted Muralist Conference last January. I had seen them on social media, but didn't know them too well. But when I finally met them in person is when I really felt that true connection and sparks really flew. So I met Lauren first, and you could instantly feel her energy from the second you met her. She really lit up the room, and what was so inspiring about her was all the hats she was wearing. She was in charge of the content there, but then she was also attending, she was networking, and oh, by the way, she had her son there, so she was casually momming on the side. And I was like, my head would be spinning if I was doing that, but she did it all with this huge smile on her face, and it was really inspiring to see. Her business, Rosemont Lane, is a reflection of that same energy, vibrant, creative, full of life. And whether it's murals, content creation, or just the way that she shows up for people, Lauren brings this beautiful balance of bold vision and down-to-earth realness that makes everyone around her feel seen and inspired. So welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. My cheeks hurt from smiling. That was so sweet. I can't believe that it was only January. Like, what?
I know.
Time
that
flies.
Is kind of crazy, actually, because we're only, 9 months post that, and here we are with a podcast.
Totally. I remember fangirling the moment that I met you guys and just like hitting it off right away, like you were saying. And it just feels like a dream. You guys have taken care of us so much and embody the same feeling that I have with my business, which is just like spreading joy and like especially connection and lifting other people up. So thanks.
So
I'm
nice.
so glad to be here.
Yay. So Annie we met at this really fun jacket painting event at Rooted. And she came up to me and we had just had this great day. And she was like, "Oh, so you know how you just spoke about quality? Well, I wanted to share that my brushes broke." And I'm like, "Great, just what you want to hear." But I honestly, I have to say, I respected it so much because it takes a lot of confidence and just care and grace that she was able to come up to me and give that feedback face to face. And the amount of professionalism she did. We had a great conversation. We, of course, sent her new brushes because that shouldn't happen. But I walked away just like so grateful for her honesty and just impressed by how much she values just her work and her tools and just that she cared so much about the brand. Annie brings that same sparkle to everything she does. Her brand, It's a Disco Day, says it all. She is full of joy. Her work is full of joy and color and bold creative energy. And she's really not afraid to take those risks. She lifts up the people around her, just like Lauren, and somehow makes every space brighter and also sparklier. So we are so excited for her to bring that sparkle to the podcast. Welcome, Annie.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I'm truly super excited. And I do remember that moment with the I don't want to call it confrontation. But when I walked up, because part of me was like, I remember getting the presentation about the quality, and I was like, yes, I'm so on board with this. And these are my favorite brushes. And so I felt a big responsibility to share what had happened to me because I don't want Zebra brushes going anywhere. So I needed to make sure that I was helping to uphold the quality assurance line there. So I am grateful that it was met with a lot of care. Actually, I was very surprised because Zia like grabbed my phone and was like, "Wait, let me see this," and put in my email, like sent herself an email with everything. It was amazing. So I'm grateful for the opportunity and for all the fun ahead.
Oh, yay. No, we're so glad to hear that. And we always like hearing the bad too, because that helps us keep quality and control. So we really appreciated that.
She's also QC on all of my murals jobs too.
I do care about the tools we're using. I want them to be like just
It's
the most
important.
efficient.
Mhm.
Well,
It's
there's
important.
that saying like, "Oh, any artist should be able to use any tool." And it's like, yes, to some degree, but also if you have quality tools, it makes your job a lot easier.
Right.
And that's
They
why
should, yeah, exactly.
Fact.
you
They
got to
should
keep
work
them in good
with
shape
you,
so
not
that they
against you, right?
exactly.
Since Rooted, Lauren and Annie have become creative powerhouses and true work besties. It's been so fun seeing them team up on so many beautiful murals and really lifting each other up and encouraging each other every step of the way. So we're thrilled to have them join the podcast family and even more excited for you guys to get to know them better. So we'll start with a few questions. Lauren, tell us more about you as an artist, your business, and how you describe your artistic style.
So I'd say first my style, because that's kind of like a bigger, deeper question for myself. Sometimes I have an insecurity that I don't have a style because I'm completely self taught. And I started with Airbnbs, which is kind of a particular style, like bold and for the client. So I guess my style has always just been like a mix between fun and bold and whimsical, a little bit abstract. Um, for when I'm on the wall. However, when I hire other people to paint, I'm like, let's get even more technical and like we can do more because I hire talented artists to do things I can't as a self-taught painter. But that being said, like I always keep my client in mind and really focus on the branding aspect and like the storytelling. I like the full picture of the design. So it has kind of helped me in business. But speaking of business, this really started as a means to an end, which is like I knew I was going to be having to contribute to income in my household and my family. And I am kind of a workhorse. So like I wanted to do something. And my husband was the one who kind of like pushed me into being like, hey, I think you're creative. Like, couldn't you be an artist? We were at this art show called the Brewery Art Walk in LA. So from there, he got me a subscription to Skillshare. And anyways, I've done it all like calligraphy, pet portraits, blah, blah, blah. Got an iPad, Procreate, and then just one day walked into a store and was like, hey, can I paint a mural on your wall? And she happened to say yes. And
I love it.
kind of the rest is history. but murals is where like the passion started building within myself for my business to not just be about making money, but be about how can I be an artist who has like the story behind what I'm doing, my why. In general, I feel like this year is really me figuring out purpose over just like making plans. So yeah, that's where we're at. I mean, I feel like I could ramble, but hopefully I get to talk more about that and listen to other people and connect with them about like that whole journey of kind of like self-made artist. And I'm really proud of where my business has grown, and I'm really excited to see what the next chapter is.
Love it. And what are you most excited about for Brush and Banter?
Oh my gosh. Well, obviously, I feel like we could just chit chat all day, but one of the things I feel like I was meant to do on this earth is just like network and connect with people. I genuinely love hearing their stories. My background is journalism, which I'm a terrible writer, but I realized through all of that is that like I do love the storytelling aspect. I genuinely love to get to know people. Like I end up hiring as many people as I can afford to hire on every mural because I just love connecting and chatting and, the person behind the brush. So I'm really excited to connect with all other artists, hear about them, and also kind of learn a little bit more about myself too.
I love that. Okay, Annie, you're up. Tell us about you. Tell us about It's a Disco Day and what your style is as an artist.
I'll start with my background first because I do think that that lends itself to talking about my style. I actually don't, I am also a self-made artist, self-taught artist, and I was working in tech as a recruiter for a long time, and I just constantly was feeling pulled to be a creative, and I kept having those bubbling thoughts of, I feel like I'm pouring all of my energy into somebody else's cup. And so when the mass layoffs happened in 2022, I was I wouldn't even say unfortunately, I was a part of that because I truly took that as a sign from the universe to just do my thing, and I finally had this little runway of like a severance pay to kind of help me out and help me figure out the path forward. I knew that I wanted to do something creative, but I didn't fully know what that was yet. And about 3 months after the layoff, my husband works for the brand Aviator Nation, and all of his sisters are on the build out team. And their boss had seen me painting on, stories that my husband was resharing. And she was like, Annie, I didn't know she could paint. Like, let's get her out there. Let's get her helping. And so I started on a pop up where I was just, I jumped up on the wall and I started painting, and I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to paint murals. So I thought, this is what I want to do. This is what I finally found the purpose. And so since then I have been hustling to, build my business and build my brand. And I think because I had that start with Aviator Nation, I am obsessed with the colors, the brightness, the boldness, the retro callback vibes just spoke to me. And that kind of has shaped my brand as an artist. I truly love working with bright colors, with bold and really technical pieces of work, I think, too. I love geometrics and basically really hard stuff to paint. um, I make my job harder on myself. But yeah, I would say that that's my brand, my style, and everything about the disco era was just so fun and so carefree, colorful, vibey. And I thought, I want every day to feel like a dance floor disco. And so that's how my brand, It's a Disco Day, came to be.
I
And
love
that was
that.
very long winded. I'm sorry, but I'm super excited to share, you know, a bit more about my vision down the road. And yeah.
I love that. I love how everyone has such a different story too, how they got into muraling most of the time. And so it's so fun to kind of see that whole process and how everyone got to their place that they are now. What about the new podcast? What are you excited to see the most this season?
I think that's something that I love and have loved about podcasts, and especially podcasts that aren't that are of like this nature. They're of conversation, they're of networking, and they're of storytelling. I love every time I'm listening to a podcast and I'm in the car and I'm hearing a story from somebody else and they're sharing their aha moment and it gives me the aha moment. I love that spark is something that like a high that I chase all the time. Listening to other podcasts, I'm like, what's the nugget of truth here? So I'm really excited to hear from so many different guests about what their moment may have been, or, hearing from each other about what the aha moments are along the way. I think that that's a special moment to get to share with all the viewers and listeners.
I love that. That's so powerful. Well, we are just so excited for this season. We can't wait to do this together. Now it's time for rapid fire, because who doesn't love to answer questions that they have never heard before? So, Annie, Lauren, are you ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Okay. Favorite color?
Pink.
Pink.
Wait, really? I thought you were going to say orange.
Personally, it's pink.
Okay,
Professionally,
okay.
it's orange.
Favorite movie you've seen more than 5 times?
Parent Trap.
The Sound of Music.
Oh, good ones. What is your biggest fear?
I often have dreams where I can't breathe.
Oh, gosh.
So I think suffocation is a big fear of mine.
Oh, dear.
Which maybe is dark, but
I know. I was like, death.
failing.
Like
Yes.
sweating through my shirt while we record this podcast.
Sweating through your shirt. That is definitely a good one. Also can relate. Okay. What's your go-to snack while working on a project?
Celsius.
Snack?
Is that a snack? That's what came to mind.
Mine are the beef sticks by Chomp,
Oh.
the beef jerkies. Those are, I think I have one at every single project if I can.
When you're our age, like anything with protein is kind of the way to go.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Are you clean as you go, or let the mess pile up and deal with it at the end?
I'm definitely clean as you go because, and I will say it's because I don't want to clean longer at the end.
Oh,
So
yeah,
mine is like
I
a
feel
self.
that.
Mine's a self. I don't even know what the word is.
She's messy. I'm messy. It is what it is.
Sure.
I mean, unless Annie's on the job, and then I'm like, Anne.
Yep. I think we complement each other really well in that area.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Okay. What's your I can't start painting without doing this ritual or routine?
Music.
This is gonna sound super weird. My hair has to be done. If I have it down or if I'm fussing with it, I can't start painting. It has to either be like slicked back, fully pulled back out of my face. But it's something that I have noticed that I'm like very adamant about doing on a paint job.
I get that. You're like in serious mode. You're ready to go.
Yeah. There's so many other things that could trip me up that I don't need something hanging in my face to also be a problem.
Get that. Okay. Music, podcast, or silence while you paint?
There is never silence.
Who's saying silence?
If I don't have music on, the reason why I turn it on is because then I just start becoming my own personal radio station, and I'm the one changing the channel every couple of seconds, as you guys already know.
And I can attest to that.
Yeah, podcasts, except for like it has to be in ears, because have you ever been on a job? Sorry, this is rapid fire, but have you ever been on a job site where like you have your podcast on and all of a sudden something inappropriate or like a little wild comes out and you're like, which construction worker heard that? Now I'm embarrassed.
Yes, because yes,
I
know you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like music, but
okay.
I do have a few favorite podcasts, and if those podcasts have new episodes on the day that I'm painting, I'm doing podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Okay. What color do you overuse but have no plans to stop using?
Tart orange by Bear, for sure. Always.
My recent like is in everyone is patina, a one coat color by Bear, like a one coat. So good.
That's true.
What?
You're welcome for that. For
what
that
kind
ad.
of color is that?
Patina is like, okay, so, oh man, this is still rapid fire. Patina is like a greenish blue, but
Okay.
here's a secret about me. I'm really good at like making colors look good. I might be either color challenged in a way that I see more colors than other people, or colorblind. I like to think that I can see more color than other people. So I don't know. I'm in a giggly mood today.
A muralist who's colorblind is
Yeah.
crazy. Shout out if you're out there. That sounds hard.
Come to my DMs. You have a safe place.
We're here for you.
I see more color. Quinn says that backpack is great. I'm like, it has some purple in it. You know?
But there's for sure hues and tones that give off vibes.
It's just showing my like I don't have a background in this. I actually need a color theory class if anyone wants to teach me. Please again, go to my DMs.
Okay, we need a color theory guest on here to help Lauren.
I was just gonna say next time.
Please them
Color theory
and
guests.
also like anyone to teach me a little bit more about paint. You know, the other thing that's really important in our job. I know about brushes, so I can get it on the wall good.
Okay, moving on. What is your paint pet peeve?
Because I care so much about the brushes, I hate when the whole paintbrush is dunked like to the handle in paint. I think that there's something about it that my brain absolutely goes into panic mode. So that's my painting pet peeve.
My paint pet peeve has to do with air conditioning. If air conditioning is on right on top of your paint and it's drying like as you're pulling it and then it just creates this awful texture, it's not the paint's fault usually. It's like outside sources. Air conditioning. Finally.
Yeah, I never would have thought about that. That's tricky. Okay, what is your non-paint superpower?
I can do most everything with a baby on my hip, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good one. Great one.
I learned how to do lots of things one-handed. Painting, even.
My non-painting superpower? You could drop me into a room anywhere and I can make friends within 10 minutes.
That's a great superpower.
Yeah, I love just meeting people and chatting. So I have no problems walking up to strangers and saying, hey, how's it going?
If your studio had a theme song, what would it be?
It's like it's a 90s pop song. Donna feels so good and that takes me. I think it's Feel Good by Sonique.
Oh,
it feels so good. Yeah,
it's like
so
a little
good,
bit lower.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Another Night by The Real McCoy. Both are like
Ooh, good
90s
Yep,
club
love it.
songs, which who doesn't love? They're just bump up jams.
Worst advice you've ever gotten about being an artist or creative?
Oh, that your clothes have to be covered in paint to be considered a muralist. I'm just a clean person. I'm sorry that my clothes.
Yeah, people are mad about you.
People
are mad
have
about that.
shown up in the comments being like, "You're not a real artist," and I'm like, "So says this client who just paid me money to paint this."
I mean, I would say that's a superpower because I can't manage to even paint a craft without getting paint on me.
Yeah, I think
It's a superpower. That's amazing.
I would say that like you have to paint a mural on a piece of plywood or in your room as your first mural. I'm like, you already have examples of your work. Like, just go pitch yourself. Like, have your first project be paid. It's possible. I just feel like that holds you back a little bit, right? I mean, yeah, if you want to practice, I'm just saying, like, go for it.
totally.
Most used brush in your toolkit.
Oh, I brought mine.
Yep.
Oh,
I have an example. This is the medium artist brush set, and it has all three of my favorites. Mostly, I think it's the square. I think the square wins, and then next is the triangle. But
square. Love it.
her.
I brought mine too, but the other one is I thought it was in my car, but I took my brushes out of my car to clean them because responsible.
Yep.
But I have two. Mine's a tie, and it's the square. Is this the 1 inch or the
1
half
inch?
inch?
Yep. 1 inch.
1 inch square, my fave. Also tied with the medium mini version of it. And the Palm Flex Pro is obviously my number one go-to. It's just so, it feels like butter. And that's the only way to describe it, is that it's satisfying to paint with. It feels like cream butter that I'm painting every time. I love
Oh my gosh. Love it. Okay. Last question. Dream artist collab, living or dead?
Oh, my grandma. So my grandma was a still life painter, and I like didn't get into painting before she passed, and I feel like I would have learned so much from her, and I think she would be proud of me knowing that I'm a painter.
Oh.
Cleo, shout out.
Grandma Cleo. I think that mine would be Andy Warhol, because I think that if we collabed on something that was just Studio 54, bright, crazy, loud, that would be epic. Yeah, that's my dream collab.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so fun. We could do this all day. But before we go, we need to introduce you to the 2 segments you're going to hear on every episode in season 6 of Brush and Banter. First one is called The Golden Moment, which is inspired by the Zibra Golden Brush Awards, which honor artistry, transformation, and creative passion. A golden moment might be a big win, a personal breakthrough, or even a quiet moment when something just clicked and you remembered, okay, this is why I do this. So each week we're going to ask each of our guests to share their golden moment from the week. And today we're going to start with ours. I will go first. It's very cliche, but it's this moment right here because I think the past couple months have been a roller coaster trying to get this podcast going and off the ground. And it feels like a big weight off my chest to have it here, and we're recording and we're doing it and it's happening. So this is my golden moment. What's yours, Lauren?
I did sign a contract this week for my biggest project yet and my biggest client yet.
Oh my gosh, yay.
And it's really exciting. I can't talk about it. It's one of those, it's like, that's how fancy it is. So I
You
can't
know
talk
it's
about
big
it.
when it's hush hush. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's a dream client, literally. So, wow.
We can't wait to hear about it finally. Okay.
Oh, I'll be able to talk about it on this season. So I will be gladly sharing.
Yes. Can't wait. Okay, Annie.
My golden moment. So back, what was it like? What was the years that we did the
2020.
garbage bins? 2023.
No,
2024.
Mm-hmm.
In 2024, I was picked as one of the artists to do the recycle bins for Coachella, a festival that I live, breathe, and die. I love it. I've been every year since like 2015, and getting to do the bin was awesome, and it was a very fun experience. It's how I met Lauren. So that is a part of the golden moment. But because of that bin, and you mentioned these golden moments are like the why you keep showing up, the why you keep doing things. Creating on social media can oftentimes feel like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting the effort in to edit this video? And it can feel a little daunting, and it just, yeah, why? But I made a few videos of the bins that ended up going viral, and somebody saw those bins, and it was a developer from Colorado out at the Aurora Highlands, and she basically saw my bin and brought me on to do, at that time, was my biggest project to date. And so that was a golden moment for me of, a why I keep showing up online. And it's not just for likes and views, it's because real people are seeing my work and they're seeing, the creativity, and they're trusting that I can bring something else to life. So that was my
That's such a good
moment.
one and so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, this segment's going to be so fun. We can't wait to hear all of the moments that our guests bring to the mic. And now for our last segment, because creativity isn't always golden. Welcome to Don't Cry Over Spilled Paint. This is the part of the show where we get real about the flops, the fumbles, the fails, the total cringeworthy moments, because let's be honest, we all have them, and more often than not, they make the best stories. But here's the thing, those messy moments, they are usually also where we grow the most, right? Whether it's learning what not to do, finding a better way forward, or just learning to laugh at ourselves, those slip-ups definitely shape us too. So Annie and Lauren, do you want to share a story with us?
Yes. My first big full project that I was working on was in New York for a different store for Aviator Nation. And I was tasked with projecting a large quote, actually just the name, Aviator Nation. It was just big. And it took up the whole wall. This store was 25 feet high, so every wall was massive. And I projected the image, traced it out, and I started taping out because I had to paint it out. And so I taped and I jumped off the scaffolding and I backed up and I went, oh my God, it's completely crooked.
Oh,
So
no.
it was fully at a tilt. And so I was like, oh my God. And that took me a few hours because
Yeah.
it's such a large wall, such a large quote. So I took all the tape off and I reprojected, did it again. I did it in a different like color pen. and jumped down and started taping off just the beginning half of it. And I was like, I should jump down and check. It was crooked again.
Oh no.
The wall was like not level. And so like the floors weren't level. It was an old building. And so everything was just askewed. And so we were like, we can't be leveling the projector because that's not actually level. We have to like put it funny and it looks weird. And so I ended up doing it 3 times, and something that should have taken a few hours ended up taking a whole extra day because I also had to paint over the first 2 attempts
Oh no.
because it was just getting too confusing with 2 separate tries. So that was a big fumble early on in my career that I realized you need to take into consideration the surroundings, not just, the wall. What's the floor look like? What's the ceiling look like?
Yeah.
So
That's like one
that
of
was a
those
big
things
fumble.
where you never think of that, but after you made that mistake once, you're not going to make that mistake again. And now everything will always be, you'll
No.
check the level of the floor
Yeah.
because,
And especially it's something at that scale. It was
Right.
huge. It was like I had to keep climbing up this scaffold. I'm like,
This makes me like ill thinking about.
it was bad.
yeah.
Also my first like real job. And so I was very stressed and
Yeah.
You're like,
sweating.
who's watching me doing
Yeah.
this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you guys, I am like really transparent on my social media about everything I can be, honestly, because I feel like that's the key to connecting honestly with people and growing. I did art for free, and it was just off of that premise, a promise to myself, and most artists make to themselves: don't do anything for free. I always say, like, even if it's for like $50, like there's an exchange where like both people are like adding some value to it and like respect, whether that's your friend or someone else. But I went against my gut and my promise to myself, did something for free, and it just ended up being still the worst job that I've ever been in. Like it hit all of the bad things. Like I was totally not safe, which really quick call out: don't share your location if you're
Oh, no.
painting
Yeah.
alone while you're still on the job. Like this is just a no-no for me. Even when I'm in groups of people, I usually often don't tag my location until I've left. I got like followed home in Joshua Tree in the middle of the night, got rained on for this project, got COVID during the time. Like I was by myself. My mom had to drive out to the desert and like came to my rescue and helped me. And then it ended up like changing on the spot. All of just the bad things because I decided to do something for free. And like there was just lessons on lessons within there. I should have just walked away. And on top of that, it's been painted over since.
Oh no.
Yeah, the guy like hired someone else to do what he wanted to do in the first place. So many cautionary tales within that one, but really at the end of the day, just like the biggest one is trust your gut.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you get reminded with that. So
It's big.
yeah,
It
and
is.
hopefully someone learns something from it, including me.
Big. Me, myself.
Me and
Mostly.
myself. Yeah. Reminder. Spilled paint. And there's lots of spilled paint in my cart. Everyone needs to know that. I'm a little messy and still successful. So, hey.
There you go. We'll be bringing this segment back every week, and we'd love to feature your spilled paint moments too. So DM us, tag us on Instagram, or send us an email. We're going to share each episode anonymously if you want. No judgment. We'll share your stories, just honesty, learn from it, laugh, grow, all the things. So don't forget to send those in.
I can't wait to go over those.
Me too. I want context. I want the deep lore from these spilled paint moments.
Oh, yeah. Like answer in the bubble, like, but then like go back to the DMs to like really get into the juice.
All right, friends, that's a wrap on episode 1. Thanks for being here as we launch this new chapter. We've got some amazing guests lined up, from muralists to refinishing pros to artists. We are breaking the boundaries with every brushstroke. So make sure to subscribe to Brush and Banter wherever you listen to podcasts, and follow us on Instagram at Zibra Painting. Tag us in your projects, and don't forget to send in those Don't Cry Over Spilled Paint stories. We are so excited to grow in this space with you and celebrate all the ways creativity shows up in our lives. Until next time, keep creating, keep laughing, and don't cry over that spilled paint.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Brush and Banter podcast, brought to you by Zibra. We're so grateful you're a part of the creative community. Gearing up for your next project? Head to enjoyzibra.com to grab your new favorite brushes, designed for comfort, precision, and serious creative flow. Be sure to follow Zebra Painting on Instagram for painting tips, artist features, and more. If you enjoyed our banter, subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts, and don't forget to leave a 5-star rating and review. Now, go make something beautiful. We'll be here when you need a little banter.